Death, consciousness, quantum mechanics, or what happens when we die? This is a question that has plagued mankind since the beginning of time, and also me and my team today, who were tasked with creating an interactive comic answering this question.
It's a very complicated topic.
The themes that we focused on were death, consciousness, and quantum mechanics, and how those all kind of play together.
The group basically came up with the concept when Jesse just pitched the idea that it should be set in 4 different worlds that are based on video games.
Our main idea was to start out with something we knew already, which we started out with Fallout, and we're like, yeah, let's base the whole game or our whole comic off of that game. And then we're kind of like, oh, maybe we should diversify it a little bit more. And so we started talking about other games, and we talked about Bethesda games, it should just be Bethesda games. And then we're like, oh, well, we can't think of a 4th game. So we added Minecraft to it. But it was just kind of an idea to use something that we already knew to relate it to a more complicated subject.
And we used those to tell a story. It was essentially a retelling of Dante's Inferno. So in the project, the first place that we start off in is in the Fallout universe. And this is when Virgil is first introduced, this is when Dante is first introduced, and this is when we have the idea that Virgil is the consciousness of this universe, and Dante is kind of catching up and figuring out what is going on. This is also the first time when Dante dies, killed by a super mutant, and we get the relation that, this is going to happen over and over. So this is also the part where we start off our hero's journey, when we're showing what life was before the hero meets the mentor. Also in the first panel, this is when we start implementing our interactivity. The interactivity that we have is quotes from Dante's Inferno are actually going to be brought up in a little Easter egg that you have to look for. Once you find the hidden Virgil on the page, it pulls up a quote. Later on, those quotes become important for each of these scenes. Then here is when the interactivity comes back in, because in each one of those panels there was a quote from Dante's Inferno. If you take those panels and if you enter in those quotes from those panels, you actually get hidden panels from Virgil's perspective and him interacting with the overall universe in each one of those places.
Well, I came in not knowing too much about coding, and coming out of it now having coded quite a bit of a Unity file.
Drawing. My struggles are just trying to draw digitally mainly. I could draw fast traditionally, but translating it to a digital form is it takes a lot of time.
I don't really have, I think it was more of a group struggle for my struggle. It was trying to figure out what to do for our interactivity, because we just kept trying to think of stuff and it just wouldn't fall through completely. And we just, at first we wanted to do a Pip-Boy that you would pull off to the side and use, but we didn't really know how to use it. And then we were thinking of doing a choose your own adventure kind of thing, and then that didn't fall through. And eventually we did figure out what we were going to do.
It was almost like a eureka moment. So even though we have our story based on Dante's Inferno, it wasn't part of the original concept. So that actually came later from Emily, that we had to try to integrate that in. Once we had that one piece, everything started coming together from there. So that was one of our biggest successes, was taking another piece of media, Dante's Inferno, and integrating that into our overall concept.
I think I grew by just doing faster, just drawing faster.
And then I guess my successes were getting a lot of stuff done. I didn't think I'd be able to get through it so quickly, and now I'm at the point where I'm on the final portion and getting that done. So I guess my success is getting done with everything that I was assigned to.
Well, I learned how to work with a group in a professional setting, how to work together on a big group project?
Working in a group, all of us took our different experiences, our different ideas, and we were able to bounce them off of each other, develop somebody's underdeveloped ideas, throw out suggestions, put in new different things. All in all, it was great to be able to brainstorm with other people who could kind of see your thought pattern but bring their own unique elements to it. So this is our project. This is what we created and came up with to answer that difficult question of what happens when you die.